Welcome back, guys, and today we're going to be jumping into some Offroad Outlaws update news, which is something we haven't done in a while. In fact, we haven't really been playing Offroad Outlaws on the channel for quite some time now, and that's because I really wanted to give them some time to get everything ready with the new update before we jumped back into Offroad Outlaws in full swing. So there's quite a few things I want to go over in this video, and obviously we're going to get to those momentarily, but once again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on any of the update news or update progress that we've talked about, and or anything that you personally are hoping to see in Offroad Outlaws very, very soon, or maybe in the next update, or maybe later on down the road. Now, one of the first things I wanted to talk about here is a GIF that was found of a small pickup truck climbing a hill and literally like spitting fire out of its stack. That's kind of a interesting segue because obviously there's going to be exhaust customization in the next update. We know that for a fact, but that's the first time we've really seen it in a true physical sense, especially in terms of like flames and fire and sparks and stuff like that coming out of a stack or coming out of an exhaust. Now, I feel like it would not be too over the top to assume that that would be something we could do with almost any exhaust setup, because we have seen that in other screenshots of vehicles with fire and flames coming out a exhaust pipe, depending on really whichever exhaust pipe you've got at hand. Now, one thing that's going to be really interesting is, are we going to be able to do that in like, or with dual stacks? I mean, hopefully, because I feel like having fire come out of the dual stacks on this 6x6 here, this 6x6 half track that does wheelies, would literally provide for some of the craziest looking visuals we've seen in Offroad Outlaws to this date. Another thing I wanted to talk about is how the devs have stated that a lot of the future progression in Offroad Outlaws in terms of making the game run better, look better, optimizing it more, a lot of that stuff will come as carryover from No Limit Drag Racing 2. Now, No Limit Drag Racing 2 has definitely blown up recently, and there's a very large and very active community around No Limit 2, and I really have been enjoying playing it, and a lot of you guys really enjoyed the stream that we did not too long ago, where we played No Limit 2 for a few hours. And it is a really fun game, it's a really interesting game, and if you are a fan of Offroad Outlaws and haven't jumped into No Limit 2 yet, I highly recommend doing so, especially because of the fact that No Limit 2 actually got a pretty big update recently, so that's definitely another reason to either jump into it now or jump back into it if you haven't played it in a week or a week and a half or so. Now, something else that's been circulating is this image of photo mode. Now, you can see we have height shift, side shift, we have distance, we have field of view, and we have tilt as well. And I'm really excited about these expansions to photo mode because they really will provide an opportunity to get some much higher quality photos. Now, sticking with that same Chevy square body, we also take a look at it in this new garage area / new garage background. Now, this is also a really interesting update and an interesting thing to look at, because what does this mean for the future of Offroad Outlaws in terms of customization areas and in terms of where you're actually going to be customizing your vehicles and or buying and selling vehicles? Quickly hopping back over to the exhaust customization discussion, take a look at this flaming side pipe. This looks absolutely incredible, but not only that, you can see there's also this gigantic wing. Literally, the big Wang Gang has invaded Offroad Outlaws, and I guarantee you that after this update drops, it will be here to stay because there will be huge wings on everything. Now, let me know in the comments below what your first vehicle that you're going to put a giant wing on in Offroad Outlaws is going to be, because I'm sure that most of you are going to throw at least one giant wing on something. I don't know what it's going to be, but once again, I am pretty dang certain that y'all are going to throw it on whatever you can. Now, to be fair though, I don't know if that wing is going to be available for almost every vehicle across the board, or if it's going to be more of an exclusive thing for some small, for a small percentage of certain vehicle types, maybe cars only, but not trucks. I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping we have a pretty open list of vehicles that we can actually throw those wings on, literally just for the comedy sake of it. I mean, I want to throw a giant GT wing on a freaking Ford F450 monster truck like I have right here, solely for the sake of the comedy aspect of it. Not because anybody would want to do it in real life, but solely because you would get laughs out of it. You know what I mean? Now, if you have a look at this Beetle photo here, you'll see that a lot has been done in terms of updating the looks of the cars themselves, and not only the looks, but the quality thereof. Now, this is where we also see some of that influence and some of that sort of bleed over technology from No Limit 2, because No Limit 2 obviously has pushed the visual boundaries farther than Offroad Outlaws has, and I'm really glad that we're starting to see some of the effects of the development of No Limit 2 starting to trickle back into Offroad Outlaws, and I really do like the fact that even though these are two completely different games, they are both able to feed off of the advancements of each other. So I really think that that means a very bright future, not only for Offroad Outlaws, but No Limit 2 as well. These are both two very heavily played and very widely loved mobile game applications, and I mean, you can play it on mobile, really any mobile device, or play it on PC using an Android emulator called BlueStacks that I'm doing right here, right now. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about real quick and touch on real quick is multiplayer system compatibility. Now, when I do Offroad Outlaws multiplayer on my live streams, one of the biggest questions that I always get is, can I join this session or that session because I'm on a iOS or I'm on an Android and you're on a, you know, a PC, but you're running an emulator and I don't know if I can join. You can. I mean, any system can join any other system in this game. I think that's a common misconception that people have, is that if you're playing on one system, you can't really join another one, but really any system can join any other system on this game, no matter whether it's a mobile device, an iOS, an Android, a Android emulator running on a PC, because really you got to remember, at the end of the day, when you're playing this game using an Android emulator on PC, essentially the PC just thinks it's an Android, so it's just like any other Android device joining another device online in Offroad Outlaws. So something I wanted to revisit from earlier on in the video was the shot of this Chevy here in the garage, but actually if you zoom in a little bit, you can see where there's not only obviously the improved graphics and reflections and shadows, but the tire lettering as well. So customization features are getting some improvements and some overhauls, again, directly from No Limit Drag Racing 2. So if you are as excited for this Offroad Outlaws update as I am, let me know down there in the comments section below, because I'm also really hoping that this kind of pushes forward a new wave of graphical development in sort of mobile games in general, because mobile games sort of developed this stigma over time of like, oh, this game doesn't look that great, it's a mobile game, or the graphics are not that great because it's a mobile game. But I really think that games like No Limit 2, and then in turn Offroad Outlaws, are doing a really good job at pushing forward the idea of what a mobile game should look like, because, I mean, at this point, you know, we look at gameplay from No Limit 2, we look at screenshots from No Limit 2, and then, of course, the screenshots from the upcoming Offroad Outlaws update, and really just the crispness and the clarity of the paint jobs and the shadows and the reflections, and it's like, holy cow, mobile games are really getting to a level now where I won't say they're comparable with PC and console games, because they're not obviously to that level yet, but if you compare them to mobile games from, like, let's say 5, 6, 7 years ago, it's a gigantic step forward, an absolutely tremendous step forward, and I really think that there's a lot to be said for pushing the boundaries of what people think a mobile game is capable of. Now, also, to just address the topic of when Offroad Outlaws will be coming back into the stream schedule, the answer to that will be revealed when we get a little bit closer to a definite release date of the update, because it should be noted that the developers have not yet released an official update release date or an update drop date. And once the update drops, we will be jumping back into Offroad Outlaws in the stream schedule in full swing, of course. So I know that a lot of you guys have been asking, when is it going to come back to the stream schedule? And that is going to be your answer right there. I really, like I said before, I really do enjoy playing this game, and I really wanted to give the developers a little bit of time to get closer to that update and get closer to a release date of that update, because it really is going to be such an incredible drop when it actually does come out. And there's going to be so many new things to do, so many new things to experience, new graphics to look at, new customization features, the backfires, the flames, the wings. Now, there's literally going to be people, I guarantee you, there's going to be people building race cars and literally racetracks for dedicated race cars in a game that was intended for off-roading in the first place. But there's also going to be people that are going to be throwing the GT wings on, like, off-road cars. But not only that, I think the graphics overhaul is going to greatly expand upon what you can do within photo mode, because if you look into the Offroad Outlaws community, there's actually a lot of people that use this game solely for the purpose of in-game photography, and I think some of them are really, really good. I mean, some of the photography that I've seen from Offroad Outlaws players that get really, really, really good is actually, like, it's tremendous, the types of quality, or the level of quality, I should say, that people can extract from photos in this game, and this graphics update and photo mode overhaul is only going to make those photos even better. So here we are at the end of the video, guys, and if you enjoyed, please do let me know any of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and of course, make sure you have those notifications on to stay up to date with the latest on Offroad Outlaws, and of course, everything else that we show on this channel. That's going to do it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.